Hey y'all, I'm Rudy Blair, and I'm at a silent disco party with an audience here at Betty's on King Street. How you guys doing here today? This is so cool, and the reason why is because we've had a chance to listen to some music from a band that was back in the 90s who was making a massive, massive comeback with tours and everything else. But, you know, I had a chance when I was sitting down with everybody else because the folks here, you guys had a chance to hear the album, didn't you, before everybody else, huh? Okay, so what'd you guys think of the music?
Unbelievable. So good.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing it. Unbelievable, so good. Oh yeah, these guys have been good back then, and they are great now. So I had a chance to sit down while everybody was listening to music and write out sort of like an introduction for these guys. So this is what I wrote. You guys ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Real like my introduction, or else I'm not letting them come up. Okay, we are here to celebrate and chat with a Canadian duo who back in the 90s mesmerized us with their infectious music that included hits like Sucks to Be You, Strange Disease, and Infatuation. Oh yeah. They were one of the first bands to represent themselves with cartoon characters, Simon and Milo. They returned in 2005, but the big comeback was last year when they sold out the Danforth Music Hall, and they sold it out real fast. Now they're back with their first national tour, Forever 1999. And we got to thank Fuji for that. Thank you, Fuji Films. They got a new single, Love Me Tender, and an upcoming album, the first in 12 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James and Jay, better known as Prozzak.
Hey everyone.
Hey guys.
Man, it has been a while. It has been a while. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you guys gonna get to sit over here? You got your microphones?
I'm just gonna take it off.
Take it all off, man. Good seeing you again, man. Good seeing you. Grab a seat, guys. So, how does it feel being back here in front of an audience? I mean, this is crazy because it's like, you know, you guys haven't been around really in a while. You make a comeback in 2005. Last year, sell at the Danforth Music Hall. Now you got new music, a tour happening. I think you've sold out the Danforth already again. I mean, it's like, and here's the craziest part too. I'm looking at the audience we have here. I don't even know how these guys even remember you because they're like babies here, man. You connect with everybody.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. This is a cool little party.
And thanks for checking out the album. We're pretty damn excited about it.
So we're going to do a little bit of conversation first, but we will be able to get questions from our Facebook fans who are out there. And of course, our audience here, you guys are going to get a chance to ask some questions too, but I get to do that first. And let's just ask straight up. Why did you guys decide right now was the right time to come back on this?
Right. So there was an article that was done in Vice magazine 2 years ago about crazy like 90s phenomenon bands or whatever. We were featured in it, and then from that we got an offer to do this festival called Atomic Lollipop, and I literally thought that my mom and like 4 high school friends were going to show up. Like I had no idea that we mattered at all, and 4,000 people were there, and people were dressed like us, and we had it was a cosplay kind of festival. We didn't really realize that we were tapping into that phenomenon, which is kind of new. Like when Prozzak was new, that didn't exist really.
Yeah, it was magical. It was a pretty magical night,
Yeah,
right?
the people were dressed like us, and so we were just blown away by it. And then we signed autographs after, and people were like, you helped me out through a rough time when I was 15 years old, and all these things were really. A lot of people said that. So we were just really inspired to get back together and write new stuff.
So what was it like going back in studio? I mean, I mentioned some of the hits that we all remember, of course. And so how do you capitalize on
it's
that?
It's funny, everyone says that going back in the studio because I live in LA and James lives in Toronto. And then before that, we were like New York, London. So there's no studio anymore. It's like just the world.
The world has, I mean, the fact that we're on Facebook, I mean, when I interviewed you guys back in the day, Facebook, come on.
Right,
you know? I mean, it's crazy. So, recording new music, I mean, what did you guys want to tap into to bring everything back up to today?
Well, I think I would say there's a part of my brain that's totally reserved for Prozzak, and it's like, you know, you could write
really small part,
but very potent. No, because honestly, Jay and I spent a lot of time writing and producing other singers and other artists, and that's great.
Like separately,
but and living in different cities. But you know, every time we get together and write for Prozzak, it's like we have to have fun, we have to be laughing, and you know, it comes really naturally. So we hadn't done it in ages, and so as soon as we decided to do this record, I think we set aside 10 days in Toronto, and we said we're going to write a song a day, and we stuck to that. So we did it.
But
it didn't all end up being.
Some of the titles were from like 5 years ago, though. We have a lot of material from both of our separate careers that would bring to the table and say, hey, would Simon say that title that I thought of, 2 years ago? So, yeah, we did it in 10 days, but there's a lot of information coming from a lot of places from our careers.
So what kind of stories are you telling throughout this album? Like what kind of...
Well, of course.
Because I was going to say, Milo is always like, he's always looking for that lost love.
Simon. Yeah. Simon is perpetually dysfunctional. Simon is still dysfunctional. I had a little hope for him for a minute. He had a good relationship, but it was like he went on like a sort of trip through the Amazon and got captured in this like village where there was no internet and no phones, and he managed to have like a good relationship for a minute, but then he went into like a small village where there was internet, and he saw someone like Tindering, and it just like played right into his sex and love addiction personality, and now he's just a mess again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Love Me Tender, first single?
Yes.
Was released. Talk a little bit about that song, putting it together.
I think I just did.
That's the song.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's funny because, our song www.nevergetoveryou was in a time when the internet was new and people were, Simon's character was trying to, get this one girl to love him and like constantly focusing on one person. Now, with Tinder, it's not about that anymore. Now it's about option paralysis and having too many choices and that feeling that there's always something better around the corner. So that's even worse for Simon.
How does it feel? I mean, do you guys think about what it was like back in the day when you two got together? I mean, you guys were with the Philosopher Kings, but you decided something worked out really well or something was special. What was it like back then comparing it to what's going on now?
You mean the music business?
Yeah, the music business and just yourselves too.
Interesting. Well, the music business is very, very different, right? I mean, on one hand, you have the power to release anything you want at any time, but on the other hand, there was support we had from a label at the time, which was amazing, and they believed in something we were doing and supported it with everything they had, and that was a huge thing for us. Now, I think anyone can release music, and it's whether that release has a meaning or not is something that no one really understands yet.
But getting people's attention is a little harder than it was
right.
if we had the right. We had Much Music at the time when Much Music was huge. Everybody watched, those videos, and so it was just a perfect timing for us when we came out and what we did. So I think for that, we'll always be nostalgic for that moment that we came out when Much was big. However, now, I mean, you've got YouTube, and all the streaming. So I think it's a great thing that, you got access to the world, but, we just hope that
access and meaningful access, though, are very different things, and I think people are discovering that.
Well, people are always discovering new music through YouTube, and I want to see if anybody has any questions, give you guys a chance to come up to the microphone and ask that question. Does anybody have any questions right now? Okay, you want to come up, give your name, please, and ask your question.
Hey guys, my name is Maurizio. Nice to meet you. Hey, so starstruck right now because I listened to you guys since 1998. So that's like what,
Thanks, man.
18 years, something like
And
that.
sorry, I gotta ask, how old were you back then?
I was 12 when I
Wow.
was listening to you guys. So I'm 30
You haven't
now.
changed a bit.
So it's a huge honor and pleasure and a privilege to be able to talk to you guys directly. My question to you is I know back in the 90s, CD sales and merchandise and stuff and concerts were one way of building your music careers. But now, as we're leaning towards music streaming services, like putting YouTube aside, I mean, that's a platform that anybody can really use, but when you really dig into things like Spotify and Apple Music, would you say that has enhanced your reach, or would you say that that's kind of drowned or made it harder to reach people? That's a good question.
Well, you have the option of reaching the whole world, and I think we have fans, in countries we had never been to, which is great. But I think Jay's point that getting someone's attention is a little harder today than it was. But luckily, with Prozzak, it's not a regular band. I mean, there's something about Simon and Milo that is pretty eye-catching and pretty, there's obviously a lot of people care about the characters. We love, how the story has taken on a life of its own. And I think whether, you find it on Spotify or, you come and see us live, I think as long as you have that connection, you can figure it out.
We're lucky because we came from that time when there was a barrier to entry and we got to get through it because we had a label saying, we're going to do this with you guys, we're going to spend money on you and all that stuff. Now there's no barrier to entry, so anyone can feel like they're making an impact, but whether they are or not is extremely difficult. If you really look at the bands and acts that are the biggest, they do have label support. So in a way, things haven't really changed that much. There's just a perception that they've changed.
We're really thankful for all the fans that we do have. So,
Are you guys a fan of like
Always spinning it positive, James.
gotta keep the cup half full.
Are you guys a fan?
I had this great negative message.
That's okay. That's totally fine. Are you guys a fan of the newer platforms that come out? That's my last.
I love using Spotify as a consumer. It's so convenient.
Oh, yeah.
And it introduces you to tons of bands I never would have heard about. So I love the recommendation algorithm. On the business side, we could go on for hours about how they're not paying enough to the creators, really to make it sustainable for maybe a new band to get in.
Yeah.
So there's some work. I think on the back end, like behind the scenes, there's work to be done. But man, I use it all the time. I do not have CDs at home.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How did you guys actually come up with the characters? And in fact, decide that you were going to have cartoon characters?
Good question. So, touring with Philosopher Kings was sort of the class clown, I guess, on the tour bus, with some alcohol for some help. And we had a lot of lonely nights, like in a tour bus,
long rides,
bands, like in the winter in the Rocky Mountains, almost hitting deer and stuff.
Elk.
And so I had this impression for some reason that everyone thought was funny, which was an aging British rock star combined with like some cynicism from everything I was into, like Woody Allen movies, and also this song actually, which inspired Simon, was "Cool for Cats" by Squeeze. If any of you guys know that or listen to that one song, you'll literally hear where I got Simon from. Seriously, "Cool for Cats" by Squeeze. So one day our A&R guy for the Philosopher Kings, Mike Rowe, just heard me goofing around the studio doing this impression. He was like, "You should do a project with that." So it really was him that said, this actually is kind of interesting and head-turning. And then it was an excuse for me to just write whatever I was feeling, hiding behind the character, which is, it turns out really easy to be super honest when you're not putting your own face on it. So that was helpful for me. And then our manager at the time, Chris Smith, was like, "Hey Jay, you're like really a lot happier doing this project than you are in the Philosopher Kings. It's like Prozzak to you." And they're like, "Yeah, it's like Prozzak to you." So that's where the name Prozzak came from.
And the musical antidepressant. That's stuff.
Right.
But you realize it was groundbreaking, though, because I think you guys were either the first or one of the first ever to do something like that.
We were before the gorillas.
There you
Let
go.
that be said.
Maybe.
For the
So that's the one comment. It was around the same
Yeah,
time.
no,
No,
that's
but
true.
we
We
didn't
don't.
know we were going to be cartoons when we invented the thing. So we recorded the album first, and then had a meeting with everyone. It was like, if I'm walking around doing a funny British accent, it's comedy. But I didn't want it to be comedy. It's obviously there's some sarcasm there, but I want it to be honest too. So if it's a cartoon character and it's not me, but it's a character, it's not comedy. It's real with some humor in it.
I always wondered, why is his head floating?
Oh, that was just, honestly, that was something that didn't end up working in the end. It was supposed to bounce to the beat every time.
Okay.
But I don't think technology was advanced enough to handle it, so that's why he has no neck.
Well, there you go. We got the story of that. I do believe you had a question. Come on up. And we will be getting to our Facebook questions too. We're going to make sure we do that also.
Yeah, actually, I'm Julian Guerin, longtime fan, even though I'm young.
You're like the real Simon.
Yeah, it's like in all your songs, you have like all the different girls you talk about, like Minnie May, Annalisa, and Caroline. So many. Like, are they all different people, or is it all like one girl? Like, are they your experiences with all these different girls, or is it like?
What do you want to think? Would you like them to be different girls or the same girl? No, they're different girls.
Yeah, I just wondering.
You could interpret it either way, though. Certainly, right? You could.
Yes.
You have your ups and downs.
However-
in the relationship. The fact remains.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a composite of some failed relationships that were...
I found like your stuff's really relatable. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, I do believe we got some Facebook questions. What do we have?
We have a few here. I guess one question was, do you write songs in character? Did you guys ever talk about that?
That's a great question. So
brilliant.
I can speak down a little. If I'm writing a song, I'll say, is this good for Simon? So a song will come along and it'll be an honest account of something. And it'll either fit Simon or not. Very rarely do we because really we're songwriters more than anything. And that's the great thing about Simon and Milo, is they're a reason to put the songs out into the world. So yeah, there's songs that are honest, that don't fit Simon's trajectory and character arc and all that stuff. And then there's songs that do, and we flesh them out, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we've had some titles on the last album that were like, it could be Simon, but it's not, so let's dump it.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of songs that did make the grade. I mean, only a few songs that we both agree, because we come from different angles. So, we listen to tons of music that I would never listen to Jay's into. Neil Diamond, for instance.
I love Neil Diamond.
And of course, I listen to a lot of music that
I'm
he
not
would.
ashamed of it.
That's true. I listen to a lot of music that he would. So we have a portion of our brains that just intersects.
There's a reason for
overlaps.
that. Because
Yeah.
my dad had the Neil Diamond comb over back in the day.
I do remember
so
that.
I have a lot of nostalgia for that.
It's a great comb over.
Do you have any other Facebook questions?
That one was from Chris Schmokel. I'm sure I butchered that name there. Okay, so we have another great one from Sam Donald, actually, and another one from John Marsh, kind of the same thing. How do you perform live? Will there be giant Simon and Milo heads on stage this tour? And do the cartoons factor in at all, or is it you guys singing on stage?
That's a good question. So I'm singing a lot of it on stage. There's a lot of layers that one human being can't possibly do themselves. So it's like 90% me and some stuff.
And we're playing. I'm
And
playing
Jay's
guitar live,
playing.
playing bass.
But yeah,
Yeah,
the characters are there on screen.
And yes, we do have massive inflatable heads.
Well, they're medium sized. They don't have a label anymore, so the head shrank.
Do we have another Facebook question? Or do we have a question from the audience here? Oh, why don't you come on up? He's going around the corner. Come in around. Then there we go.
Hi, longtime fan. I'm kind of fangirling right now, actually. I got two questions. One's a little ridiculous. When Cruel Cruel World came out, there was two album covers, right? Now, there was one where you had a neck and then there was one without the neck. Was that because of
2 album covers.
I remember seeing that on
Really?
iTunes, and then there was like some fan backlash saying that there was a neck in one, and then they took it out.
Wow.
You know what?
I'll pull it up on my phone here.
Why don't you do that? Let me
Yeah, I'll
just
look
check
it
it
up here in a
out.
minute. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find it here in a
I'd
minute.
love to see that.
No, Rudy will check that out.
Okay.
It's true. You know, when we did that album, Jay and I, we've done 2 albums that did really well, Beyond Our Wildest Dreams, and we kind of felt, times had changed, music had shifted. Oh, we better change it up a little. So musically, it was a little different. I think than the first 2, and definitely we wanted the visuals to reflect that. So we learned really quickly, though, our fans did not want Simon and Milo to look differently.
Yeah, there's
They'll believe me, like we got the message. And so when
Yeah, it's one thing changing musically, but changing the character looks.
Yeah.
He's
Let me
right.
see.
there's a neck.
There's a neck, and then there's not a neck.
Whoa, I totally forgot about that. And
Well,
look
there's
at
a
it, it's
collar.
different shape. Yeah, that was a different outfit though.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I like that design, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not Simon and Milo.
No,
Yeah.
and I got one more thing. Could you please say, Simon, why is your light still on? I want to hear it so bad.
For you,
That's one of those things that we do, like not in the studio from different cities,
Oh yeah.
because it's really uncomfortable. But you can try it now. I'll look the other way.
Simon, why is your light still on?
And I got it right in this ear too, so there you go. Another Facebook question?
Yeah. Jeffrey Grip, he is wondering to both you, Simon and Milo, what's your favorite non-Prozzak song you've written?
Oh, that's a good question.
Interesting. What's
I'm
yours?
gonna say "Night Goes Slow" by Katie Shaw.
Oh, that's good. I would say, because we wrote a ton of songs too.
I think they're asking
Oh,
stuff.
Okay, yeah, there's a song I wrote with this artist Yuna from Malaysia, who's LA based, and it's called Planes. It's the first song we ever wrote, and I love it.
Going back a little bit to the album, though, I heard some of the tracks. Are there some collaborations going on? Like, so other artists are on this album?
You did mention Katie Shaw.
Katie Shaw's right there, and she's singing on some of the tracks.
Katie, hold on. You can't. Katie, come on up. Take a bow. Come on over. Come on over. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. No. Come back up. Come back up. Grab a seat over here, real quick, for a second.
Oh,
Grab a
boy.
seat up here. And I just want to ask, what is it like working with these guys?
Oh, it's awful. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a blast. Jay's my best friend in the world, and ever since I met James, we've gotten along really well. So they're easy to work with. And writing for Prozzak, it's like Jay mentioned before, writing for something else when it's not yourself, you don't have your name on it, your face on it, you can really kind of let go. So writing for myself can be stifling, and working with them was very freeing. It was good.
And vice versa, guys, working with her.
Well, I discovered Katie playing ukulele on the subway in New York City 5 years ago and developed her as an artist, and she's doing really well now. You guys can all check out her stuff, Katie Shaw, Catey. So, I mean, I've worked with her for years, and her voice is awesome.
But it wasn't when I got into the picture. I mean, because Jay and I have written everything, right? So I didn't know how it was going to work out, but it was so easy. Yeah, it was just like family. It was easy.
And what are the tracks or track you're on?
There's some I'm
Ooh
singing,
La La.
some I'm singing on, but I didn't write on, and then some I wrote and am singing.
You wrote a little of Love Me Tender,
A little of-
and
Ooh La La,
Ooh La La.
and Lick This Love Thing. Is
Yeah.
that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't lick this love thing down.
He just can't.
True story.
Can't lick it.
Man, I can't wait to hear more of these songs in this album. Thank you so much for coming up on stage. Give a big hand, everybody. And do we have more questions from our audience or our Facebook audience? Do we have any more questions? Oh, and we'll get back there for another question. No, go ahead.
This comes from Sammy Spillick. What's one thing you actually don't miss from 1999?
Oh, those huge skater pants I wore. Ridiculous. Wow. Insane.
I don't miss CDs, I have to say.
Yeah, I don't miss CDs. either.
Had no love for the CDs.
I miss records, but not CDs.
Yeah, albums,
like albums.
vinyl, but you know.
Any chance that, and sorry, well, I'll get right to you. Any chance that this album could be on vinyl?
Vinyl,
Could
possibly.
conceivably be on vinyl, but not
We'll
yet.
see. Not
We'll
yet.
see.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Let me transition. I actually have a vinyl. It's a radio, I guess, edit or a few different versions of "Sucks to Be You." I guess it was. Do you guys recall that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that at home too.
Yeah.
In my basement.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Are there
It's
remixes?
There's like 3 versions of it.
Okay.
One instrumental. Anyway, I'm actually a big fan of the Crow
Do
World
you have
sound.
the one that says "It's great to be you"?
No, I wish. It would be nice.
That was for the label. They didn't like sucks. It was too negative.
I really liked what you guys did with Crow World with a bit more less. The percussion was a bit different, less electronic. Do you guys ever think you might go for the future of Prozzak? Do you think you might, after this album, it seems to be throwback to Hot Show, Saturday People. Do you think you might adventure into that sound again eventually? Do you?
I mean, it depends what mood we're in. We always do what we feel like.
Yeah.
We love that
And
album.
You can't second guess what people are going to like or what they're not
Right,
going to like.
right.
You have to just do what's true to you in the moment. So that's, I was living in New York then. You came down and the Strokes were big then.
Strokes were
feeling
huge.
Yeah,
the
Early
very
in
much.
Brooklyn
the time.
scene. And, but I think there's
elements of that
this
on this
one is
album.
kind of in between Hot Show and that. Like, Lick This Love thing has a little bit of that Cure Strokes-ish thing.
And adaptation has definitely more organic kind of
Right.
Cool.
emo vibe. But yeah, I'm glad to hear you love it.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Look, I want to jump back on something you just said. Were you serious about "Great to Be You"?
Oh, well, in a way, because we had a pilot, a Disney pilot for a cartoon, but they didn't understand that really it was 14, 15-year-olds that were into Prozzak, and it had a bit of an edge, and they tried to make it for 6-year-olds, and they literally wouldn't let us say "Sucks to Be You," and they wanted an alternative.
They crushed our spirit. It took a year.
And we made a pilot, which does exist, and
That's
it's the
true.
worst
It is terrible.
thing in the world.
I can't imagine. "Great to Be You." Nah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't. I think do we have another Facebook question? We're just here we go. I do believe we got another one.
Yes. Justin Stewart is wondering what's your favorite song from the new album?
Okay, you go.
I do, you know what? I love them. You can't pick, which child is your favorite child. I
Oh,
don't
your
know.
kids.
Yeah. However, my kids are on a song.
2 songs.
2 songs. The Wacky Boys happen to be related. My 2 sons, and so the song "Love Fools Anonymous." I love that song, and that was one where the hook actually was written by Sammy. Who
Yeah,
was,
great hook.
yeah.
And then Ooh La La, which she's.
Ooh La La is the other one, but
I think my favorite is All of It Feels, because there's a truth to that, and it sort of transcends Simon's like relationship character arc, which is sitting on Facebook in the middle of the night, like getting sucked into like compare and despair to other people's lives, and just falling into that trap that every single person in modern times falls into, whether they admit it or not. And I think that song sort of describes that feeling, and that's why I like it the most. So.
Well, you just kind of mentioned about your kids. What do they think about you guys?
I'll have to say that Prozzak is, like you said, we work with a lot of different, artists, and we were in the Philosopher King. Prozzak is the only thing my kids will listen to that I've done. So that says something.
And that's because you forced them to.
That's true. Even before they were born, we play it, against my wife's pregnant belly. Yeah.
There you go. Another Facebook question.
Aiden White says, speaking of the Disney thing, and this.
No, I know Aiden.
We
I mean, I don't know him, but I know him from Facebook.
Will you
Hey.
be, will he be willing to try that again this year? And this is the second person that has asked.
Wait, what's the question?
Speaking about the Disney thing, will you be willing to try it again?
We would do another TV show, if that's the
Definitely.
question. And we are actually talking to some people about doing that, but it would be very, very different than that was.
No Disney.
No.
Johnny Sloan's wondering what made you write Monday Morning.
Oh, I know what that was. Right.
There was a mass shooting.
My cousin's No, my cousin's friend killed themselves when they were like 15 years old, and I was sort of taking care of her at the time with her friends. So it was about no one close to me in my life, but someone who was very touched by someone taking their own lives. That was a long time ago.
We have a question from the audience. Come on up.
Hi.
Hi.
So one of my friends has a lot, he may or may not be in this room, has a lot of like relationship problems right now, and kind
You've
of
come to the wrong place.
Yeah, he can't get over someone.
Wait, hold on here. Where is he? And come on up. Come on. Get up here. There we go. You sending her over there. Get up here. Sit right here. Sit right here.
We are not the experts on this.
Okay.
Here what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the microphone. And now...
This is not Dr. Phil.
Yeah, you're going to get Dr. Phil. Here you go.
This is like what not to do.
But he's basically living the Simon life right now, so I wanted to get some relationship advice on his behalf. But now he's sitting
Well,
there.
we need some details, though.
Oh, details from him.
I don't know. Whoever wants to give them.
Well, first of all, I didn't actually ask her to ask this question. I think she's looking for some unsolicited advice from you. But I guess there was a relationship. Now there's not a relationship. And hearing that last song from your new album, kind of, I related.
Adaptation? Okay.
Yeah.
So why? What do you relate to in that song?
Well, I guess everybody tells me that it's a bad idea.
Right.
Also,
but yet you can't help the way you feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly what that's about. It is.
So is there a story behind it then?
That eventually that changes and you get over someone. But that's there is. That is about a genuine relationship, and that's actually a cover that Prozzak did of a project that I have, which is a folk project called Today Kid.
Sure. I love the song so much. I convinced Jay to put on we did a version for our album.
So I have a non-character accent, no accent project called Today Kid, and that song was from that. And James allowed us to put on the Prozzak album.
That's great. Loved you guys at Atomic Lollipop and last year at the
You made it in.
Yeah, I did actually.
That was a great night.
So I just want to make sure. So what's the actual advice for him?
I have no advice.
No advice.
Life is hard, man.
There you go. Life is hard. All right. Thank you so much. I think we got another Facebook question coming.
We got another one from Justin Stewart. He's wondering, what are you most looking forward to with touring again?
Wow. Well, everything. I mean, getting up on stage now, and it's so unexpected, being able to go play for thousands of people is just a gift. It's like, just getting up there and singing and jumping around to the songs that we wrote. And
you're not looking forward to the 5 a.m. flight? Or the long drive between Red Deer and Columbia.
Well, we do it a little differently than we used to.
True. No, we toured across the country many times, and I think for both of us though, at this point we really are excited about partying with our fans. Honestly.
And the continental breakfast.
Free continental breakfast. That's true.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the tour. What can we expect on stage, and how much of the hits from back in the day to some of the songs that
we're doing all the classics. No one will be disappointed.
Oh, except for people that love Cruel Cruel World the most.
Oh, really? We aren't doing anything?
No, because which is really tough because we wanted to fit in some of the new ones, and me and Jay were arguing because I hate going to a show when you just want to hear your favorite songs and they play a bunch of new songs. And he was like, no, we got to play the new songs because this is our tour.
But that's why we have released an instructional MP3 for people to download, and I think it's on our Facebook. Where can people find that? It's on our Facebook if you search for it. Instructional. What is it called? Instructional.
We needed a better title, but it was.
Megan, what's it called?
Instructional recording.
PR.
Oh, there you go.
Well, we got to work on the title, but it's on our
It
page.
outlines all the new hooks, so everyone across the country can learn the new hooks, and they will not be alarmed or disappointed or sad or hopeless.
If we play that new song.
Hey, do we have
Don't be
another
concerned.
Facebook question?
This one comes from Dan Baglori. Prozzak has so many varied influences, for example, flamenco guitars and things you don't hear in pop often. Which genre do you feel haven't played that you want to explore next creatively?
Genre that we haven't
That you
explored
haven't
yet,
explored
that we
yet,
would like
yes.
to.
All right, Brazilian baile funk. I think I could really hear Simon taking that up.
I don't even know what that is, so I'm up for it.
I don't know. Right, like I said, whatever. Like we have lots of different influences.
Yeah.
There's a few that we both agree on, and those are kind of our foundation. Certainly, the flamenco guitar stuff comes from me and the guitar playing. But Jay, what is it that you
I
would
don't know.
love
I
to
think
hear?
Prozzak's like both of us putting our best foot forward. Like you're a ridiculous jazz guitar player, and you can do any style. So that's guitar oriented because that's what he does. You know, that's his instrument. And for me, again, it's like my dad had a comb over, and so did Neil Diamond, and here we are.
We should give a big shout out to the Fuji Films for promoting this tour.
Yes, Fuji Films, Instax. That's a great story too, because we were using Instax on stage, and Katie was like taking pictures of the audience and throwing the pictures back in, and then our manager Ian hooked up this big sponsorship thing, and we're like in partnership with Fuji Instax now, and it like worked out really well.
So we have a massive.
Actually, I got one of those. There you go.
And it's like a super cool like.
And there you go. You know what? I'm just gonna throw that out to the audience. Anybody wants to grab it? There you go. There you go. Hold on. Over. There you go.
That was like the 30th row you got.
No, but we love, capturing those moments live, and there's something obviously nostalgic about the whole film, the Instax instant film. So we thought it was perfect for us.
Now I know the last time you and I spoke, you didn't really say what the name of the album was going to be. Do we have a?
You didn't ask me.
Yes, I did.
The album.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys spoke before without me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sucks to be you. Badooch. Yeah, I did ask you about it.
You mean that album cover over there?
That's the album cover.
And
Forever
at the bottom,
1999.
Forever 1999. That's
There you go.
right.
Yeah, no.
So what's
we
the
never-
question?
That was the question. Just wanted to confirm. The album was called
That
Forever
is indeed.
1999.
New album's called Forever 1999. You are correct.
And do we have a date yet on when it could be
This
released?
Friday.
March 31st.
There you go.
Go get it.
We've got another Facebook question.
Yes, we have lots. Johnny Sloan was wondering, will there be merch at the concert?
Yes.
There will be.
T-shirts.
Elaborate, come on.
Okay. Well,
T-shirts and posters.
yeah, we did these baseball T-shirts, with the characters on them, which we still do. But check out the new album cover. Like we had a lot of ideas for the album cover, and we came up with the idea of playing on the '90s acid happy face. That was like
Oh, we didn't come up with it. Katie did.
Okay, when Katie came up with that idea, it was she designed it actually. But no, we knew that was like perfect for this album. So yeah, I think
That's going to be a T-shirt.
Another question, please.
Yeah, Anthony Trinidad is wondering, what can we do to get to hear you on Toronto radio airwaves and much music more often? Missing
You have
those
to
golden
call.
days.
They have to call and
Call,
request
text,
us.
and request.
Do
us.
everything you can. Engage your
Yeah.
friends. Campaigning door to door. Get the word out.
Dress as the characters?
Dress as the characters. Call your city council member.
And another question, please.
Yeah, Jasmine Lee Burke is wondering, will you continue to create more music videos with Simon and Milo like you have back in the old days?
Yes, we will. They live forever.
No, we will. Videos take a while to get produced, being animated. So we'd like to do videos for the whole album if we could, but we're definitely. There is another video in the works actually. So stay tuned.
I was going to ask very quickly, do we have another question from the audience? Right over here.
Hey guys, it's Naheed. Nice to meet you guys. So happy to see you. Long time fan, you're my brother. Again, since we were kids, we've been listening, and we just really love the tune and the positive messages that you guys put out. Cruel Cruel World was another, it was kind of an experience, but we're glad to see the new album, kind of a throwback to your original sound, which was great. Simon, you had mentioned, Jay had mentioned, you had mentioned that you look for like a deeper meaning with your songs and your lyrics and that sort of thing. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you both your opinion, in character, if you can explain what would you like to, in character, your message with the new album.
I wasn't aware of any in character.
Well, there you go. Ian?
In character, what do we think of the album?
Yes, in character and with accents, please.
This is again where I lead the stage because this is like all yours, guys.
I'm Simon.
This is Milo.
And I really like the new album. Don't you, Milo?
Yeah, groove and move it.
Oh my goodness. Guys, look, I gotta say, this has been an honor and a pleasure to be able to sit up here and talk to you guys. I remember when we did our interviews back in 1998 and 99, and to be able to do this again is really, really a pleasure. You know,
cool, man.
Thank you.
You know, just love it. I know you guys had a great time with this.
Thank you.
The new album, Forever, 1999, out March 31st, this Friday. Make sure you pick it up. The tour is happening right now, too. Do we know some of the stops? I know, of course,
Start in Toronto on March 29th, and we're heading all the way west to Victoria, so everywhere in between.
Fantastic. Make sure, tweet, do all you got to do, social media. Prozzak is back. Give him a big round of applause, everybody.